You know, the last time we did a show and Uncle Haw was going to go on after us, and he was trying to get his guests. Oh.
We're connected?
Yeah. Hi.
Oh. I got up this morning. Put on my shoes. Welcome to the Lotus Cast.
We're professional.
I'm calling it that because it makes me happy.
Because a certain person is upset that we would do that?
Welcome. It's Thursday night, guys, and we're here.
Hello.
Joe is at Studio La Harvey.
Studio Dave.
I'm at Studio Dave, and it came with a free introduction to Dave's dad.
Yep.
Really? This is the first time you met his dad?
No, I've met him multiple times, but
he doesn't know what he's
we
doing.
Pretended that we didn't meet each other.
Does your dad, Dave, think that you are fucking Joe in the basement right now?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
But he might have a suspicion.
No, because he can hear everything that's happening.
So
if I start making like loud moaning sounds like harder, Dave.
Please,
yeah, maybe,
oh my
actually.
God, start doing that.
That would be really funny.
Just every once in a while. Be like, oh, it doesn't fit, Dave.
No, that's weird. Plus, I have soundproofing, so.
Oh, so he can't hear you.
No, it's not how soundproofing works.
What is it? Can he hear you or can he not hear you?
I don't know. I'm trying to leave it up in the air, so then you guys just leave it alone.
Joe, I think you just need to run with this.
I think I need to make a lot of sounds.
You can just no.
All of those years of abuse that Dave has put you through. Finally, retaliation in making his dad.
Who's been a bad little babushka?
That's not a thing that anybody would say.
I don't know what a babushka is. It sounded Jewish.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
How is Studio Dave?
It is actually quite comfortable on the couch that I can only imagine that Dave has lived on for several years.
That's true.
And
Dave, did you bone any broads there?
Have I?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you bone any broads that I know?
It's just so
I don't think so.
That's a shame.
Not on
I was really hoping that happened there.
No.
But
oh
boy.
No.
Okay. Well, welcome to the show, guys. I'm eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Nice.
I found out recently that Matt just keeps a supply of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches just like ready to go for when he wants one.
Why did Joe just take a picture of the back of my head?
No, I took a picture of Studio Dave so I could snap
you did.
It wasn't the back of your head, but if I did, it would have been like, nice haircut, Dave.
I don't really make the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I made you think that. They're just Uncrustables.
What's Uncrustables?
They have no crusts.
Yep.
I don't know what that is.
They're peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that don't have crust, and you put them in the freezer, and whenever you want one.
This is something you can buy?
Yeah.
I've never heard of them.
Smucker's Uncrustables.
Smuckers.
I'm a big fan of that. You know, easy to grab and go. So what's been going on, guys?
I mean, I would say nothing, but some things have happened.
Yeah.
So, wait, hold on. When
Joe's not Joe anymore.
That's true. But before we get to that, when you met Dave's father, like, what did you guys talk about? Did you talk about the old car?
No, it was just mostly in passing. Yeah. It was like, hi, and Dave ran immediately downstairs, and I was left trying to close the door, and then he just screamed up.
You don't need to close the door. You can just leave the door.
Oh, he screamed up from the basement, "That's Joe!" And then his dad was just like, "Hi, Joe," and I'm like,
"Yep,
hi, Dave's dad."
That's how it went.
Is the machete still on the wall?
I didn't see it.
No,
but I wasn't looking for it.
That one I threw away. I think I was afraid of it.
That one time, it was like, all right.
They tried to chop me.
Yeah. So much great stuff has happened there. So how is the? I mean, the studio looks great just from the camera that I'm looking into. It looks very nice.
Yeah, you could definitely tell that Dave spent quite a bit of money outfitting this place.
I like the little phone stand that he has next to.
It's useful.
I mean, I'm sure that it is.
Everything in here appears to have like a use. He's got hooks under tables and...
Well, I mean, let's be real. Like, there's no reason that Dave would buy anything if it didn't have a use.
He has wall-mounted speakers and a wall-mounted TV and like 3 huge monitors that just surround him.
How many screens are in the room?
4.
I took out a lot of the screens that I had in this room.
And...
So you've downgraded screens. There's 4 screens in your room, and you've downgraded.
There are 4 currently functional screens in my room, yes.
Oh.
And he just has like little soundproofing squares like all over the place. Like mostly in his direction. Like there's none around me, but it's all around Dave.
Why would I...
If you want this to be a studio, like shouldn't it cover everything?
Can I have a little bit of time, please?
And there seems to be like, you know, blue LED lights behind monitors. So
they're supposed to be white.
So you got Christmas lights up.
I mean, I have these exact strips. It's like, you know, you buy them on Amazon for like $8 and they can turn like 20 different colors and you put them behind your
Christmas
monitors.
Lights. You're saying that Dave has always been saying
no,
because
Christmas
lights.
Christmas lights, I've always said either
Christmas.
you leave them all the time or you don't do them at all.
And I've left them all the time, so you had nothing to complain about. Like they're always up.
What is he doing? What is?
I don't know. I think what happened is he liked.
It's for the lights, so Joe can see.
Yeah, I think he liked the setup that I had, and then he was like, "I got to make that happen for myself."
No, I just
that kind of looks like that's what's happened.
Yeah.
Right.
Clearly, I have done all of this for myself.
I'm gonna call Roman right now and see if he can't build a table to put into Dave's room. Yeah.
Well, I literally said like when I got down here, like we should have been doing it down here all along. Like you could sit on the other side of this couch.
That? Like at one point, Roman just felt inspiration and built a giant table.
You know what the dumb thing about that is? I can't get him to take it back. He said
that's right. It's still in your freaking apartment.
I wish it would go away. I don't know what to do with it. He told me he spent over $400 on it.
Not worth that much, by the way.
And
that was too much money.
I don't know if that was true or not, but either way, it is disassembled and in a corner of my apartment, of which I have no space, and it's just eating up a bunch of it.
That's so funny. Like he built that, and we almost got in trouble too because he was there late at night when nobody was there building the table.
Yeah. Well, maybe he shouldn't have been doing it like the weekend I went to Ireland.
Yeah. Pretty great. So, Joe, you got your identity stolen. Identity theft.
I don't know that it was stolen. They attempted to steal it, but me, as the ever-present gumshoe that I am, found out about it.
Gumshoe.
And I stopped him at his tracks.
So, I feel bad, Joe, that this happened to you.
I feel bad for me too.
But at the same time, it's just like
it's like who else would it happen to? Like, of course it happened to me. Like
you pay off your credit card.
Yeah.
And then 2 days later, somebody steals all of the money on the credit card.
So, I mean, I have this Bank of America credit card who gave me like some wild, huge limit on it. And
go ahead and tell everybody $50,000.
No, it's not that high. It's like 20 something.
It's a $50,000 credit card. It's okay.
But
you're a high roller, Joe.
And I had just paid off a little bit of it. Well, the rest of that was on it, and it had been zero. Like literally, the due date for my credit card bill is like the 6th, and I had paid it off I think on the 5th, and it was just zero. And then literally on the 7th, like while I'm at work in the morning, I get an email from Bank of America. It was like, your balance transfer request has been approved, and I was like, what? And so then I logged into my account. And sure enough, there's a $9,900 balance transfer request on the credit card that I just paid off.
That's pretty good.
It's just gone. It's just all of his money is gone. What is this?
I'm just setting up here.
What are you setting up? Why are you fidgeting?
What?
There's a lot going on now. On this TV.
So, all right, this, like you were telling me about this, and I actually, the way that you broached the subject with Dave and I was by accusing us of pulling some sort of prank on you.
Because, okay, so I called Bank of America immediately once I saw this, because I was like, there's no way. I didn't transfer $10,000 of credit card from some bank that I don't have an account at onto my credit card. So I called them immediately and said it was fraud, and they took care of it pretty quickly. They, froze my account. They canceled the card. They refunded me, so it took like 2 days, but I got the money back on it. So now it's back to zero. But they told me that whoever did this called in this balance transfer over the phone, pretending to be me, and they passed the phone screen as me, and were able to transfer all of this money to my account. So I don't know how much information they had on me for this.
Yeah, I mean, they had all of the information. Like, there was no information they didn't have.
Yeah.
I feel like to pass a bank screening, like they have your, obviously your address, your name, social security number for sure. They had to have your credit card information because that's, they always have you type in the old credit card information.
Oh, yeah.
So even the little security code on the back, I'm sure they had that too.
It's just insane. And even if they didn't, like, let's say they just had my credit card info and my address, like, that's apparently enough to get you by. Just by he could have like social engineered some info about me for all I know. Like, so yeah, it was frustrating.
So I was like thinking about this even when you told me, and I was dwelling on it, and then we even talked yesterday a bit about it. I just imagine that whoever had your information like waited until you paid off.
Yeah, like how did they know that or did they just guess? Did they just say like, or maybe when they called in, they said like, what's the balance on the account? And they were just like, oh, it's zero. You could transfer whatever you want now. We have balance transfer deals.
Right. Yeah, I mean, they probably. Oh, well, actually, I guess you could even call if you have all the information about the credit card.
Yeah,
it'll tell you what the balance is. So, I get it. But it's just so crazy that they got it like 2 days after.
Like, was he calling beforehand and saying like, "Oh, this isn't enough credit that's available,"
right?
And just waited it out.
Waited it out until I paid it off, and then just prayed on it. But like, isn't it a dumb idea? Because like he put in his bank info to transfer this debt over, so don't they know precisely who like frauded them?
Yeah, that's the other thing. I felt that they should definitely be able to track whoever it was down pretty quickly, unless like they just transferred it over to like an account, and then that's what sparked the email, and then they transferred it from there somewhere else. I just don't feel like funds move that fast. I feel like transfers usually take a couple days.
Yeah, it would surprise me too, because literally the next day I checked, and even though my account was locked, it said I had a balance of like $10,200 because of the fees and everything.
Right.
And then by the third day, it was back to zero. They had credited it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you got a waiver. I got a message today from the bank that was like, "Hey, just so you know, we're going to investigate this fully, and just in case it was legitimate, we will be taking back that credit." So I was like, hopefully they do their job and find out that it wasn't legitimate.
Dave, is this whole Warped Tour thing going on?
Yeah.
Who's going? Is it me, you?
I got a 4-pack, so.
Is the 4 claimed? Is it?
Well, one of them was claimed, but now it's not anymore. That was Sean's.
All right.
So
is
I
that
figure your
Michelle's
wife.
ticket?
Yeah.
All right. So I just need to pay you for that.
Mm-hmm.
How
All
much
right.
was
So
it?
it's the 4 of us, and
Not
Goldie's
much.
coming up for Warped Tour.
Yeah.
Oh.
When is Warped Tour this year?
July, June? I don't remember.
It's the last fucking Warped Tour. There won't be any more after this.
Well, they've
Until
said
like
that
5
before.
years away.
Right. You're right. They'll have the 5-year like
Reunion Warped Tour.
reunion Warped Tour. I wanted to go to that Warped Tour cruise last year. That looked like a lot of fun. I want to go on a cruise, guys.
I
really
really
want to
don't.
go on a cruise.
I thought it would be fun when they were doing those Star Trek cruises, but then they post photos of them on Instagram, and then I know that it's not fun.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to go on a different cruise, like not a Star Trek cruise. I want to go on a fun cruise.
And you assume the Warped Tour cruise would be fun?
I mean, it looked like fun. Story of the Year was there, so Sum 41 played, I think. Simple Plan played.
Simple Plan's going to be at this one.
Yeah, I'm really excited for the very last.
Is there a full list of bands coming already out?
No, they won't release that probably until the day of the show.
I don't know, Mike. There's a lot of objectively good pop punk this year, and most years, in fact.
So how long is Goldie coming up here for? Just for the weekend?
I don't know.
Is
Ask
she
her.
staying here with you, Dave?
No.
Where's she staying?
I don't know.
In a motel?
Yeah.
Motel Dave?
Motel 6?
Motel Dave.
I mean, this couch is pretty comfortable, so I wouldn't be surprised.
Is she bringing her dogs?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Okay.
Is Banjo going to be here?
Maybe we can do a show with Goldie.
Maybe.
A Goldie cast, even.
Is that what it would be called?
Of course. Oh, apparently she has other friends that live in the area.
Yeah, I know, right?
Okay, Goldie.
That's not possible.
Yeah,
I wanted to go on a cruise. I've been talking about this with people at work because I have to take all these vacation days, and they're like, "Oh, you should go on a cruise." And I've never been on one, but everything's like all inclusive.
Yeah, you should definitely go on a cruise, like one of those, just a cruise by yourself.
I don't know what I would do there by myself.
Hang
The
out
thing
with
is,
other
honestly,
7-year-olds?
Joe, I wouldn't go on a cruise if I were you because it would capsize.
It probably.
It's true.
You know, like that cruise where everybody got like food sickness and they were like
Yeah.
trapped on it for days.
You'd
like,
actually get abducted by pirates.
that would be the one that or like Somali pirates take over or something, and that'll be the cruise that I'm on. And then at the
Yeah,
end,
but-
everyone steals my identity.
I know. It's just we would honestly be like, man, when is Joe getting back from that cruise? Because nobody would ever look up on it,
Yeah.
and then Dave would just find his beheading video online somewhere.
Yeah, probably.
You're like, well,
I would
Matt,
watch
guess what
it.
happened? Guess what happened to Joe? Or, no, I just get a message in the chat that says, well, I guess Joe's in a coma. Yeah, dude, that sucks about the whole identity thing. I feel really bad. It just,
Well, that wasn't even the end of it. Like the day after the credit card thing, I got like a message from like Credit Karma and NerdWallet, all those like credit monitoring services that like a hard.
You do realize that's probably where your credit information
Most likely,
is stolen
honestly.
from.
They like somebody did a hard credit check on my account too that was unauthorized for some bank in Rhode Island. So I had to literally go on all of the 3 credit bureaus and do like a credit freeze for 90 days.
That sucks.
It really does suck, and I always find it funny because you have such complicated passwords to things.
I know.
I was thinking of like my passwords are Horseman.
You literally just broadcast your password. Somebody could log into your computer remotely now.
Of course. I mean, it's just always stupid passwords. Like, literally, the voicemail password at work is 123456.
Yeah, I mean, I generally try to keep fairly complex passwords. Like, there's capitals and letters and
I only do that
symbols
when it
and
makes
shit.
me. It's like, oh, you need to use this complicated password. And it's like, oh, son of a bitch, which one am I going to use? And then the worst is when you can't use a password that you've used in the past.
Oh, I hate that too.
So I'm out of passwords. So I always, I don't know what half of them are. So every time I have to change it, and then I forget what it is again. So I have to change it every time.
We literally have accounts at work that force you to change your password like every 60 days, and I hate everything about it.
I got ants everywhere. I don't know where they're coming from. The hell?
You got ants?
Yeah, when the seasons change, ants get into my house.
Yeah. My yard right now is filled with ants. Hey, did you guys watch the remix of Arrested Development on Netflix? Or have you started it?
I was going to tonight, and I didn't get around to it. But I did hear that it was
remix?
much better. Yeah.
So they remixed season 4 because like they were saying that they didn't really like they filmed it from the perspective. I mean, you've seen it, so you know how it's
like
I
filmed
every
from the
episode,
perspective of all the different
season
characters,
4.
and
Yeah.
it's the same scenes. Well, they reshot it to be more like the older seasons, like an
So,
actual
like,
television show.
Every episode was focused on one character, and there was only 15 of them. They were like an hour long, and instead they've now cut them to be like, intertwining stories.
Okay.
But then half the cast sued them for more money for doing that. So because they were paid something like $100,000 an episode on the episodes that were focused on them, and now that they're in every episode, they feel like they should be paid more money.
Yeah, and then season 5 is coming out.
Yeah, and season 5 comes out at the end of the month.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who is Dickface in the chat? I'm curious.
But it makes sense. I mean, Joe doesn't really take Ambien
Right.
though.
What if it's actually Joe
How do
on
I get
Ambien making
access?
all these transfers and credit pulls?
How do I get access to Ambien?
I don't know. Bubby has some. You want some?
No, I just do you like go to a doctor
Bobby
and just
your
be like,
source?
I need Ambien, and they'll be like, okay, here's Ambien.
Kinda.
That is kind of how that works, yeah.
I mean, that would force me to go to the doctor. I haven't been to a doctor in like 5 years. I mean, like to get a physical. I mean,
Well, I mean, the last time you went to the doctor sued you. So
yeah, it's kind of
That's
put me
weird.
off going to doctors.
if you could go back to the list of things that have happened to you, I definitely wouldn't get on a cruise.
I mean, it is. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. Who goes to a doctor's office and the doctor sues you? Like,
They just done it backwards.
Shouldn't you be suing the doctor?
For malpractice.
Like,
Jesus Christ.
yeah, I don't know. It's dumb.
Yeah. Did you guys? I think. Do you want to do Avengers talk? Do you want to talk about the
We
Avengers?
can do a
film?
little bit. I mean, it's a little late for one, and I'm sure
Yeah,
like
I'm sure
everybody.
it's been like discussed to death.
Well, the only thing that I haven't heard is the first thing I said about it, in which changing the motivation from the comic makes the entire thing very trivial.
Yeah, because I think everybody has picked up on the fact at this point, like, if he's really just in it to save the universe, why didn't he just double all the resources?
Right. He
rather
had the
than,
reality
like,
gem, right?
rather than kill half the universe. Like, there's no point otherwise. And yeah, it makes sense when Dave tells you, like, because I didn't know this from the comics, that he was trying to impress Death, and that's the reason why he wants to kill half the
Right.
people. It doesn't make sense in this case, because literally the logical flaw is like, well, if you
Yeah,
want everybody to live, why don't you just double all the resources?
Right.
No, I get that. Like that definitely. I think that you can't do the Death storyline because it gets too.
It is goofy.
fucking nerdy.
It's absolutely goofy, but when you get rid of that motivation,
Sure.
it trivializes kind of everything he was doing.
Yeah. I mean.
But also, like, why didn't he restore, like, Titan to its former glory?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously he could have done a million things. It just doesn't really completely make sense. I think it was just they had to do something.
Right, then don't give him like the almost altruistic value there. Don't don't say like, oh, and he's trying to save us all by killing half of us. No, just have him just kill half of you.
Do you think that they're going to take all of this feedback and, like, Tony Stark is going to be like, hey, dipshit, in the next movie, like, you could have just doubled the universe?
Of course.
I don't know, because I said that immediately after walking out of the theater. I haven't seen anybody actually say that in post or anything or any reviews.
Oh, I saw it in a bunch of reviews.
Really?
Yeah. Well, maybe they weren't
Mark
reviews.
said
Maybe
it.
they were just, like, you know, articles about, like.
No, I'm sure that because that's like surface thing.
Yeah, that's
Dave
like a
Harvey
surface level.
is the one who said it first, and apparently they've stolen your identity.
Maybe.
Well, what about did you see all the feedback about people hating on Star-Lord because he's the one who made the whole plan fail?
Yeah, I mean, he did. And it was kind of stupid, but I don't know. A lot of it just seemed like it was just happening to get past that point, you know? The entire movie was built up to a part where we already knew was happening, which was the snap.
I actually thought that Star-Lord fight with a few of them on Titan was the best fight in the film. Because all of them using their powers sort of creatively and together. Like, I thought that was the best
No, the
part of
fight
it.
was good, but it just seemed like a lot of things were just... You can't avoid it. So no matter what they did, you knew what was happening.
Right.
It was like watching Titanic.
Really enjoyed it. I mean, it's like watching the Titanic. Like, you know what's going to happen at the end.
Right. That's what I just said.
Ship's going down. I didn't hear you say that.
I literally just said to that.
Did you see all the memes about Spider-Man, like, dying?
Why was that so sad for people?
Yeah, but
was a
like now
bummer.
people like change it into like, you know, I don't feel so good,
Yeah.
and then like whatever's disappearing.
Yeah.
Well, because people are stupid. Let's.
Well, I saw one on like Wendy's the other day where they were just like, Big Mac, I don't feel so good, and the Big Mac was disappearing.
Well, what I don't get is why did like a few characters get to last a little longer, like Spider-Man? Spider-Man's like,
He waited.
oh man, I know that I'm about to turn into like ghost dust or something.
His
Nobody
Spidey
else
sense
knew.
told him,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like Nick Fury knew.
Nick Fury was just like, son of a bitch.
Yeah. Well, motherfucker.
And then he summoned Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I summon Captain Marvel. Sorry, Captain Marvel's a Digimon.
Well, what?
Yeah. It was like a pager.
What I really hope is in the next movie, it's just like the pager just sitting there because Captain Marvel also turned into dust. Like it's just fuck.
Did you think it's a pager? Because I've
It
heard
looked
that
like a pager.
I heard that Captain Marvel takes place in the 90s. So is it a pager because she's in the 90s?
I don't think
Yeah.
that's how that works.
It's back to the past.
Yeah, he's like sending a message back to the past.
You don't page somebody with a pager.
Maybe you
I
do.
worked on a farm and they had a pager. Like they just every day that you started, you had to go pull a pager off of a charger and walk around with it, and just like whenever it went off, you had to call the boss. Who's Cinnamon Roll?
I don't know what's going on here. Because we haven't increased in anybody in the chat.
You haven't increased anybody?
Yeah, like our amount of people hasn't changed. Pearl and Cinnamon Roll now. All right.
Pearl?
Well, when you give people what they want, they flock out masses.
The movie's good though.
I loved it. I really loved it. There were a couple times where it got a little emotional for me, and I did kind of choke up.
Really?
Was it when Spider-Man died?
Yeah, I felt really bummed out about that. That was really intense. I loved the scene with Groot growing his arm out and becoming the Stormhammer handle.
You liked Big Dinklage?
He was.
I did like being Big
He was still the dwarf, but he was humongous.
That was silly.
I just like Thor calling Rocket Raccoon Rabbit the whole movie.
Is that what you liked?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really liked a lot of it. It was really, really good. Hey, look, Dickface is the guy that stole Joe's identity.
Joe too.
I was just saying that the person who stole my identity is getting much better lines of credit than I do. So I don't know if he's a smooth talker, because I'm certainly not. I'm not a smooth talker with computers, because they're just declining me immediately.
Michelle lasted 2 weeks without hearing spoilers. I didn't realize she even
You
liked.
haven't seen it yet?
Yeah, 2 weeks after a movie like this, it's too late. Sorry.
And then you're coming to our show.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think
How many
you've
other
come to
Strange
our
Label
show,
shows have already talked about this?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. You don't get 2 weeks after a movie like this. It's not how that works.
I mean, bravo if you've made it 2 weeks.
Is there a reason? Like, is she just not an Avengers fan?
That's
She's just
fine.
Like, oh, I'll
You don't
see
have
it
to.
I don't think
eventually?
she's a Marvel fan at all. Like, she's always shit on all of the superhero movies, I think, for a while. But did you guys see the Ant-Man and Wasp trailer? We'll say
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited for that. Looks like a fun movie.
Does it take place at the same time?
It's beforehand. Ant-Man and Wasp is before.
So at
Infinity
the
War.
end of Ant-Man and Wasp, like, somebody will disappear?
At the end of Ant-Man and Wasp, I assume they're going to be like, hey, let's go bang in the woods like Hawkeye, and that's why we didn't help in Avengers.
No, they don't need to bang in the woods. They make themselves super small into that, like, subspace, and then they can bang in there.
Same difference. That's why they weren't there, because there was a line in Infinity War where they mentioned something about Scott being, like, banging.
Yeah, like, Scott wanted to go, like, be with his daughter or something, and so did Hawkeye.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, do you know from the comics why Thanos' like power glove was all like dissolved at the end, or crushed, or bad looking? Like after he used
no,
it?
I don't know what that was about, because this didn't happen. Like, Thanos snapped, and when he destroyed half the universe, he still had the glove. Like, there was it didn't, like, spoiler alert from the comics, Thanos ends up at the like the farm at the end of the Infinity Gauntlet story. Like, he just is a peaceful being living on a farm. Like, that's how that ends. The whole storyline ends. But I don't know why it was crushed the way that it was. I didn't see that.
You didn't see that in the movie, or?
No, I saw that in the movie. I've not seen that. I don't know why that is a thing.
I didn't get it either. But I wasn't that concerned about it.
I wasn't either.
I just
mean,
didn't
we
know
all
if that
what's
meant
gonna
like
happen.
he can't use it
fucking,
again, or what.
That the robot bitch is gonna get the glove, and
Well, no,
Right,
isn't
Nebula.
somebody supposed to die, like Captain America or Iron Man or somebody?
They're all gonna die.
yeah, I don't know. I don't even know that necessarily they'll die. I don't think all of them will die. I think some of them will die.
Well, yeah, because it's the last Avengers that they're contracted for.
I don't think they'll kill off like Captain America. I mean, I don't think they'll kill off every single one of those characters.
Well, yeah, they're not going to kill off all of them. I just mean, like, I think Chris Evans has said, like, he doesn't want to do anymore.
Sure, but even if he doesn't want to do anymore, like, it doesn't make sense to completely kill him off.
But, like, wouldn't it
Hemsworth
make
said the
more...
same, but then he changed his mind after Ragnarok.
But wouldn't it make more sense? Because, like, at least in the comics, they've killed off Steve Rogers and, like, Bucky or...
But they've killed off everybody. Everybody's died multiple times. So I don't think it makes sense to kill off every single one of them. I would also see where, okay, they take it into a different direction, because if they go the route of the comics, like Falcon would become Captain America.
I thought it was Bucky.
They both have.
Yeah, I mean, I think it would make more sense to give
So
it to
is
Falcon.
even Black Panther Man has become like the
I think it would just make
essential.
more sense if it was like Black Widow just does it.
Like
instead.
everybody's filled his role.
Yeah.
Because the Captain America role really is just like King of the Avengers.
You just need somebody who's like self-righteous and virtuous and whose girlfriend died 70 years ago and he can't get past her.
That's something that also bothered me, is everybody is freaking out about Spider-Man dying at the end of the movie.
Why?
But we literally just got Black Man's like movie, right?
And he dissolved.
And he
first.
dissolved and like wasn't drawn out or anything, and nobody cares. Nobody said a thing about it. But like,
I mean,
Spider-Man is, oh my god.
But Spider-Man
Yeah,
made a big
I
deal
don't know
of
why
it.
everybody's losing their shit over it. I know obviously that Spider-Man's coming back, and
So is Black
and
Panther.
Yeah,
Black
yes, they
Panther's
both have
coming
another
back because
movie.
they're gonna make their movies again. I get that. I understand that.
What if they're all
But
prequels from
It was
now
an
on?
emotional scene. Like it
Right,
was,
but why is I don't get why
Well,
the
because
Spider-Man
Black
one is so much
Panther
worse.
was just like, hey, we should go back to our space camp, and then then he just
yeah.
dissolved.
Black Panther. I mean, he himself didn't play like a huge role in this movie. Where Spider-Man, like I loved the chemistry between Tony Stark and Peter Parker the entire film. I thought they were really funny. I thought it was really touching. You know, you could definitely tell where Tony was trying to look after him and make sure that he was safe, and then in the end, like he had no control of saving him whatsoever.
To be honest,
and it was a bummer. It was sad.
I guess, but to be honest, I was a little sad that Ebony Maw didn't win that fight, because Ebony Maw was way cooler.
Oh, dude, Ebony Maw fucking kicked ass. Like,
That was awesome.
yeah, he was really badass.
What about Aunt May? Is she okay? Did they say?
Oh man,
Yeah, I had
I
a
hope-
question.
that she's okay.
I hope that the next movie just starts with Tony banging her.
I hope that she's okay, but like,
Does she just assume
Clothes
because like
disappear.
Peter never comes home that he just like dissolved on the bus at the field trip?
yeah,
That's a good question.
that's a good question. Maybe we'll find out.
How much time was there in between the field trip and
I
the?
feel like it was all the same day, wasn't it?
Yeah, but the same day. I mean, there was still a while between then, right?
There's
Because I mean,
Probably a couple.
Peter Parker
days.
had enough time to like go to space, fly to Saturn.
I mean,
you know?
she found out at the end of the movie that he's Spider-Man, so she probably just assumed that he's like involved somehow.
Yeah,
Oh, anyway, good movie. It was a good movie.
yeah, it was a good movie, but I mean, it's hard to rank it against other movies
I was
just
just about to
because
say,
it has 10 years of other movies.
Oh yeah, that was actually another thing that I realized. Like, I looked over at Rochelle and it was like, dude, we've been doing this for 10 fucking years.
I
That's
don't
how
know
long.
if it would be as enjoyable though if you didn't
Is
see the
is
other
it a standalone
movies.
movie? Can it be
Yeah.
a standalone movie?
Because
at
there was a
all?
lot of
No,
like,
not at all,
oh,
because
we're in a fight
there's-
now, you know, like, and you're like, oh, what's that about?
Dude,
Like, why are you in a
they-
fight?
Everybody on Earth finally meets up with Hulk. Like, you don't have any of that backstory with
But
Ragnarok.
do you
and
need it?
even-
Because we know the characters. We understand that they're comic book characters.
Sure.
We can just be plunged into that story in the middle
I
and
think
still
you
something.
could watch the movie.
Well, you would also be
Fine,
confused at the
as a
beginning,
standalone
like,
film.
why is Thor on a spaceship? You know, like,
Right. I think you could watch the movie as a standalone film, but you would just not be getting a lot of it.
Is it no? But it's not whether you get it or not. Is it good as a standalone film? Like,
Oh.
will you still enjoy the movie?
Not as much. No.
Like, because a standalone film, you could watch Thor Ragnarok as a standalone film, and it's good. You could watch Spider-Man Homecoming as a standalone film, and it's good.
Right.
Can you watch this one as a standalone film?
No, I don't think so. I'm fine with it because I've seen it all. But there's a lot there. I mean, fucking Doctor Strange and the Guardians. Like,
I actually really liked Doctor Strange in this movie, and it's like I remember thinking like, I enjoyed Doctor Strange, but they've not announced a Doctor Strange 2. But he was really good in this.
I loved him in this movie. I really did.
Because I think he had like the benefit of time between his movie and now, where he was like a much better wizard now.
I like that he had a seizure in the movie. That was fun.
Does your friend normally do this?
So, Fortnite is taking over the world.
You guys aren't living that Fort life?
It's the worst game. It's just like not a good game. I don't care what anybody says. It's not
a lot
good.
of people. I mean, play
it's free. It's free. That's why.
So what's really crazy to me is like you always get these big games that kind of take over these little groups, right? Like first person shooters and Call of Duty. Like it's a popular game, but it doesn't take over the entire community. They're just these different groups of fucking nerds that latch onto it and glom on. And PUBG came out, and PUBG got really popular, and it got really popular again. Like people were watching it. It's like almost a niche thing, but it's getting popularity. But they both, PUBG and Fortnite, did what none of the other games have done, which is develop that fucking mobile platform.
The mobile platforms are nothing alike, too. It's just stupid.
But it has launched both of those names into such a mainstream.
I have to say, I don't hear a lot of people talking about PUBG anymore now that Fortnite's like insane.
Again, it's the difference between Dota and League of Legends.
Yeah, but League of Legends was always more popular.
Right. It is. Well, it's played more, I guess.
I'm not saying that it's better because I've never played League of Legends, but
it's worse, significantly worse. But it's
But it ends up being the most popular one.
I almost say is more.
I did just see recently that Dota 2 is doing their own sort of survival, King of the Hill type game.
They've had several custom games for a long time.
But now it just seems like other people are trying to like squeeze into this popular
They're not doing
trend.
that sort of thing, no. It's not the same.
Yeah, I've not played the mobile platforms on either of them. I've played PUBG, I've played Fortnite. I'm not good at them, so
I don't know. I couldn't get into them too much personally, just because I can do a couple rounds and then I get bored of it.
The main aspect of Fortnite is why it sucks, and that's the building.
But people love building.
It's gimmicky. It's like so bad, and it adds nothing.
Is it also
enjoyable.
Because of the cartoony characters?
No, I don't care about the cartoony characters, even though the gunplay doesn't feel good either. But either way,
I think the building aspect of it is what kind of ruins Fortnite. Like,
right, exactly.
Building these weird walls and ramps and stuff around the house and tearing walls down. Like it's kind of, I don't know. It just seems senseless to me.
Right. I mean, they mentioned Fortnite in Silicon Valley.
Oh, I was going to bring that up. Like, so when I watched that episode of Silicon Valley, it seemed like they just dubbed that in because couldn't see anybody actually say Fortnite.
Yeah.
Like, it was like Richard was walking away and Guilfoyle was walking away.
Fortnite? I want to play Fortnite.
Yeah. But it was like from behind, so I felt like they just dubbed it in because Fortnite got so popular.
Yeah, I would actually. I think you're right.
It's just.
It seemed a little disingenuous.
It's just not a great game. And I'm not saying that PUBG is like a great game, but it is.
But like, does it matter? Like, Pokemon Go wasn't a great game, but everybody was invested in it.
It's just it latches on with kids. Kids
there
around
are a lot
13
of
years
adults
old
playing.
There
Fortnite.
are, but that's not why. It's like the 13-year-olds, they watch a million YouTube streams, they watch every Twitch stream, and that gains its popularity. Then people that are older that don't have as much time see that that's the top thing. They try it out, and then they're in because it's free. It's all because of
Are you
younger
also
kids.
maybe possibly saying this because you heavily invested in PUBG and that's
I'm
like,
not heavily invested in it.
well, you were playing it before it was popular.
Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
Dave, we all know you bought stock in PUBG.
Yeah. No, but I'm saying like that's the issue. That's why when you watch any of these streams, every popular channel is filled with just a million 12-year-olds.
So I know
that's
that
the
gaming is
issue.
getting popular, and I know it's something that we've talked about a lot on this show, where things on Twitch and like esports are gaining more and more popularity. But is it starting to take more of a backseat? Like I don't know. Maybe because I don't keep track of it. I know that Overwatch.
Overwatch comes and goes because they have seasons, but Fortnite has seasons too.
Seasons
well,
are stupid.
Yeah, like I know that Overwatch kind of is pretty big too, because like I know Boston has its own sports
'cause
team now.
They'll do what do they call them? The tournaments.
Yeah. The Overwatch League is
Plus,
I
they
don't know.
just released a
put
couple
too
new
much money into
Overwatch
it.
maps too, and
They put way too much money into it.
Like
in a
I
weird way.
was really invested in Dota 2 for a long time. Like Dave got me into Dota. I started watching Dota and I was really into it, and then they went through that really radical change, and I haven't watched it again. And which is really strange for a company to do something like that, to start to gain so much popularity. I don't know.
Well,
I don't
I
know.
think
Like, I
because
don't pay
they
attention
were-
to it anymore, so I don't know if it's as popular or more popular, or if it is dying.
I think
like-
they were afraid of being stale, and so they tried to evolve a little bit, but they misread their audience and did things.
Like
they
I
didn't
don't know
wanna
if
do.
the international is big as it was.
It is. It makes as much money. Who knows about this year? But last year it made more money.
Yeah.
So
But is esports, is it getting more and more popular? Like,
Well, yeah,
these two
because
games, Fortnite,
it's becoming
PUBG
more and
are-
more broad.
Yeah, because now we have different leagues, like you just said. Like we have a Overwatch league, we have Fortnite leagues, we have PUBG
Yeah,
tournaments.
The scope is broadening significantly.
It's not just League of Legends and Dota 2 anymore. There's a lot of more games that have tournament leagues.
Or Counter-Strike or whatever
Yeah.
else. There are more and more games, and everybody is trying to get in on the esports thing.
Michelle brought it up in the chat, and I know you were talking about
Right,
it
we were
before.
going to talk about that, yeah.
I mean, I don't watch baseball.
Yeah, the Red Sox
ever.
pitcher David Price had to miss a game against the Yankees because of carpal tunnel from playing Fortnite. Which, the only reason I want to bring this up is because the local sports radio about this topic is fucking insufferable.
Is it because
Well-
it's a lot of older guys who don't know
Yeah,
what Fortnite
no,
is?
seriously, they've spent the last 3 days talking about how they would put him in a locker for being a nerd, and he should be like with the science nerds and stuff like that. It's
That's
like, what
insane.
the fuck are they talking about? And not only that, but at the same time, the Sports Hub 98.5 in this area has been advertising and trying to push their new like video game show that they have on Sundays. So I'm listening to them talk about this every day at the same time as like trying to push this new show that they have, and it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, can they live in a different world? But that's their job. Their job is to literally be wrong about everything, so people call in and listen.
Yeah, but like you got to understand like who's their audience. It's a lot of
Well,
old
yeah.
people who like still listen
There's
to
a
radio.
lot of fucking meatheads in this area that,
And anybody who's in their like 20s or 30s who's even a fan of sports has probably played video games and is a fan of them.
Well, honestly, there's some
Yeah.
younger people, and I say younger, like, their early 20s, mid 20s, that where I work, and I've brought up the topic of how I think that esports deserves just as much credibility as any other sport, and they'll be like, I don't think so. I don't think so. And that's like the younger, but they are like these kind of meatheady, fucking, diehard sports fans.
I feel like it's the opposite. Well, maybe it's just the people I work with like are more into that kind of thing.
Who would have known that people in an IT department would care?
Well, no, I mean there is a younger guy who like literally I just sold my Xbox to, and he was just like, I don't know if I should play that Fortnite because I don't want to get sucked into anything. He's too busy as it is.
Mm.
But literally, like the custodian at the school that he works with, he plays all the time and talks to him constantly about it. So he gets him like kind of like psyched up into it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like I would be fine with Fortnite without the building. If like that's what the game was, okay, fine. You know.
Well, if they didn't have the building, it would
Just be PUBG.
With
Yeah.
no,
different-
well,
with
third
different
person with
graphics.
different guns and stuff and goofier.
Yeah.
But I'd be
Like,
fine with it. The building just
I
makes
can-
it really not enjoyable for me.
I agree. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, I don't know why you have to do all of these.
It's like
Like,
map awareness doesn't
outside-
matter.
What would they call it? Just night? Because you're not
Yeah.
building
Well,
forts.
outside of like the actual story where you're supposed to build up, you know,
In
like
the actual game that was initially released.
yeah, where you're supposed to build a fort
Right.
and survive the night because the zombies are coming to get you. Like, maybe add that element into it where it's PvP, but also maybe a PvE element where, you know, you kind of have to build up your forts and the area gets smaller and so on and so. Like, there's obviously ways you could do
Having the building in it the way that they have it takes away all map awareness.
that. Yeah.
You just put up walls behind yourself and whatever else, and nobody can do anything about it because you have cover wherever you want.
Would you be upset if PUBG released a version of the game that involved
I would.
building?
I wouldn't play that version.
And
of
what
the
if it
game.
became the most popular
I
game?
wouldn't play it.
Yeah. Well, obviously Dave's not going to follow into the most popular thing.
I mean, why would I play something I don't want to play?
Right. He doesn't like the building. So.
Are you even really playing PUBG anymore?
I won a game the other day without shooting my gun once.
I just happened to be on
It was-
my computer the other night, and it said that you had loaded up Rocket League. So
I was playing Rocket League. I was playing PUBG last night, actually. But a few days ago, I was playing. I played a couple solo games, or I was going to play a couple solo games, but I only played one because I had like my whole kit, and I was gonna like play. I was looking for people the whole time, couldn't find anybody. Then it was down to like the last 5 people. I was like, okay, this is a really small circle. I'm gonna stay here and look for people because I have like I'm right on the edge. I can see everybody coming because there's a field on the other side. I have good cover. And then all of a sudden, I just win. I'm like, what the fuck? Like I didn't shoot yet.
Huh.
It was kind of cool, but really annoying. Because like I wanted to shoot people, you know? That's the point of the game.
I think the last time I played PUBG, I kind of just hid for a little bit because I couldn't figure out my gun. Because clearly I don't play enough. But I ended up like getting in the top 50, and I thought that was pretty cool.
The top 50 is you could do.
Yeah, if you wait 3 minutes, you'll be in the top 50.
Yeah.
But then somebody found me, and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna shoot you." But then apparently you need to have bullets for your gun.
Typically.
Yeah, but like it's like if you pick up a gun, it just didn't come with bullets.
Yeah, the bullets are next to the guns.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, and then I was karate chopping him with the gun, and that didn't seem to do anything.
No, because you can't do that. You can't punch with the gun. You have to not be holding the gun to punch.
Yeah,
Good job.
Yeah. I don't.
it was a victory for me. So
I'm proud of you.
So made it in the top 50.
better than half the people there.
Is it 100 people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the cold open for Saturday Night Live this past weekend?
Was Stormy?
No, I
Stormy
didn't see it.
Daniels.
Yeah, I watched it. I actually like this episode of Donald Glover.
I didn't watch anything else. Like, people were talking about that Child Gambino or whatever.
Childish
Childish
Gambino,
Gambino, yeah. His alter
I didn't
ego.
watch that. I just watched the cold open and just was immediately annoyed. Like, they got all the stars in the world. They have.
They did have a lot of like guest stars in the cold open. It was like Ben Stiller was playing. What's his name? The lawyer
kinda
there,
get
Trump's lawyer.
tired of Alec Baldwin as Trump. Like, it just seems so.
Are you on the same side as Rob Schneider, who came out and said that he hates Rob Schneider's, or rather, Alec Baldwin's Trump?
I did not know that he said that.
Yeah.
Oh, look,
I don't know what to do. You keep changing your story.
we're watching it.
Stormy Daniels
We don't hear it,
payment.
but we're watching it.
You don't hear it?
I hear it.
Oh, I don't hear it.
Oh, hold on. Let me see what sound device I have out.
Yeah, so I watched the cold open because I had a couple posts on Sunday morning where people said like, "Oh, you got to check this out. This is great." People were raving about the Childish Gambino.
Yeah, his new single like had like broke some YouTube record or something.
He's got the sharpest legal mind since my.
You don't hear it at all, Matt?
I don't hear it. I don't know if our audience hears it.
They should
I
be
mean,
able to.
I hear it just fine.
Maybe Matt's not gonna hear it the way I have it set up.
Oh, you don't even have the cold open. It's like some ad.
What the hell is this? I just kind of Googled cold open.
Yeah,
And then it was
Stormy
Washington
shows up
Post.
towards the end. It's Michael Cohen calling random people in Trump's circle because he has like 100 burner phones, and at some point Trump tells him to conference him in with Stormy Daniels, and then it's actually Stormy Daniels, and then he tells Michael to hang up.
USA Today, Washington Post. Why? What? Where the fuck is the SNL post? Jesus.
I don't know. It's on YouTube.
Oh, it has an
That's where I
ad.
watch
Cool,
it.
because I don't have ad block installed in this browser.
But
You're the only person I know using Opera.
I don't usually use Opera anymore.
Oprah's browser.
I'm just using it for this.
Yeah, it's Oprah's browser. Like, it's just the big O.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt. The way I have it set up, you
Yeah,
can't
that's
hear
fine.
it.
It's not important.
It's also mirrored.
I just thought
on
it was
Matt's
really
end.
cringy when, like, towards the end of it, when Stormy Daniels was like, well, it's a good thing you don't believe in climate change because storms are coming. It's like, ugh.
It's an 8-minute cold open.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there's a
dude,
lot of
that's-
people in it, and
Yeah, we're not doing that.
even at Stormy's point, she's just like, Donald, porn stars aren't known for their acting.
Yeah. It was really cheesy writing, and I'm kind of like, just stop. Like, we get it. We get it.
I don't understand why that was the only one you watched, though.
That's just because I saw it. Like, I saw it a couple times, and they
There's a
said
couple,
Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, she does show up. She played Ivanka.
I'd bang her.
She's
Who
dating the guy from Weekend Update. That's why
I
she's
thought
on
she
the
was-
show.
I thought she was dating Jimmy Fallon.
No, she's dating Colin Jost, who is on Weekend Update, and he and Michael Che are now hosting the Emmy Awards, I think, or the Golden Globes, one of those.
But yeah, I didn't really care.
What is
look,
this
the
link?
Is
Why
that
is-
Stormy at the bottom?
Anchor posting naked pictures in the chat.
She's kind of a natural boobs. Well, she had a boob job, clearly.
They look funky.
Yeah, I mean, they're pointing in different
I
directions.
mean, if paint like the whole boob part white and the nipple part black, and they look like Sesame Street eyes.
Yeah, that one nipple is definitely drifting away.
I can see them just like
That's
screaming
because,
for
like,
cookies.
The implants, they're making them point in different directions.
I was talking to one of the older guys about this whole Stormy Daniels thing, and just, I mean, is there anything to really care about here other than like the fact that he lied about it? The
I
money.
mean,
Well, the money thing's a big deal.
there's a lot to care about.
Yeah.
there's a lot to care about.
Like, if it was literally any other politician, they would have resigned by now. Or, like, if it was Bill
That's
Clinton,
not true.
he would have been impeached.
It's kind of true.
No.
Yeah, it pretty much is true. Like, a lot of people have resigned over much less.
A politician resigned because a picture was taken of him implying to be grabbing boobs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is fine, but also politicians have stayed in even after being caught in sex scandals.
Not for very long.
Not like this.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Bill Clinton got a blowjob from an intern and stayed in office.
No,
But
okay.
he was...
he was impeached.
Yeah, they didn't impeach him.
Okay, but he stayed in office.
That's only because he survived the impeaching. Like, they literally took him to court while he was in office.
All right, but still, I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I don't necessarily.
And it wasn't because he had sex
That was
in the
under
office.
perjury.
They caught it under perjury, yeah. Like, because he lied
Right.
under oath.
Like, I that's the thing. The lie is the worst part about it.
It's also the person saying it. I mean, Bill Clinton didn't
Yeah, but he's...
freak out for years about sex scandals and things, and Democrats weren't doing that. It was
Is also a legal thing because it doesn't matter where the source of the money is. Like, if he paid it out of pocket as a candidate or if it came through, like, either way, like, there's a question about it being campaign funds. And
There
that's a
is, yeah.
legal issue.
I think, yeah, that whole Rudy Giuliani thing was kind of
Rudy Giuliani is
He seems
fucking
to be
hysterical.
like a mess.
He is out.
Like,
Out
when
of-
is
I
the
would like
last
for
time
Rudy
he like
Giuliani
practiced
and
law?
John McCain to host a podcast together.
He probably just spillboard Trump secrets and like ruined Trump's day. Like Trump had to come out and say like, yeah, I knew about Stormy Daniels' payment because Giuliani forced him to.
Well, Trump has been doing that
Why does he
himself
keep
anyway.
posting pictures? Her tits are kind of cross-eyed.
They are. But I mean,
that
like-
is a weird. Like, she definitely has a pretty. You think she could get that fixed? Like, can't
Oh, I didn't know that she
Can't
had
she get
that,
that nipple
weird.
Is it just
belt
me, or does she
tattoo.
have really broad shoulders?
She does, but I think it might be because of the boobs. Like they're accentuating it.
Maybe. I don't know.
that is a pretty bad tattoo. What is that?
Did she
Is
just
that a
go in and
claw?
say like, "Could you make me a belt tattoo?"
Are you saying that about her boob job?
A belt
Her
tattoo. is
boobs
boob
somehow
job?
look flat and enormous at the same time in that picture.
Pancake
Yeah,
titties.
like this. Honestly, if you deflated those, it would be those pancake tits that you used
Oh
to send.
yeah, the ones that like the person would like tie up like a ham.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're
a
almost
roast.
that.
Why is there like a clock in her belt?
There's a clock in her belt.
Yeah.
There is.
It's
You're
like
right.
a
Yeah,
stopwatch
it's a
or
clock
something.
and a rose. Like that isn't. Well, I don't like that one that's above that either.
Maybe it's maybe she's a big fan of poison. Like every rose has its thorn, just like every night.
I've
has
always
its
kind of
dawn.
wanted a tattoo, but I don't know what I would get it of. But I know looking at that, like that would not be the one I'd be like, yeah.
Every rose has its thorn, just like
Give that
every
to
belt
me.
has its clock.
Yeah.
Does it go all the way around? Does somebody have a picture of her back?
I'm sure. Does somebody have a picture of her back?
Is that online somewhere? Can we?
I'm
figure this
sure the
out?
back is where it started.
She was like, "Oh, I have a tramp stamp. You know what? I want to make it go all the way around."
Right.
It is huge too.
Her tits are seriously weird. Like they're weirding me out. They're like,
To be fair, I'm sure they were nicer when she got them. It's probably been like a decade.
I don't know. It looks like it looks like they're more bulbous above the nipple than the nipple's like, you know, like it. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know how.
I
to
think it
describe
is the boobs that make her look broad-shouldered. Because if you kind of imagine them not being there, she probably has like a thin shoulder.
She's also like, I don't know, because I mean when she's like all dressed fancy and stuff, she kind of has broad shoulders too.
But I think it's the boobs, like accentuating it.
I don't know. Either
Did
way,
you
it's
guys
weird.
check out? Actually, back to some trailer talk. I watched the Predator trailer today.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Oh, I didn't see it.
It's so bad.
really terrible.
Are they
I
remaking
don't
it, or is
know
there
how you
different?
could have such a cool concept for the first movie. And
Predators
really-
isn't the worst.
Predators
second
is
one-
not the worst, but it's not great either.
Yeah.
I mean, fucking
Danny
like
Glover
it's a
fighting him
cool
at the end is great.
concept where they do it. It just wasn't executed perfectly.
Yeah,
Having
this trailer
Lawrence
is
Fishburne
bad.
living, in that spaceship. It was a cool idea though to have like this kind of.
Oh yeah, that one's Predators. No, I meant Predator 2. Sorry, I got mixed up with Aliens. Danny Glover.
Danny Glover.
Yeah, I like Danny
I-
Glover.
I like that one too. Want some candy?
Yeah, that one's good, but it's good because it's goofy. But yeah,
So this one looks really terrible.
It's so bad. Do I need to show Joe?
Yeah, I haven't seen it. But to be fair, like if you saw the original Predator trailer, like would you be excited for it?
The worst thing about this trailer for me is that they do like the 2-second like pre-trailer trailer.
Oh, I hate those.
What is that?
What is that? Why is that a
trend
thing?
happen- I hate that, and that happened with the Venom, like the first Venom teaser.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
I did-
We haven't been on since I think any of us
I
probably.
think I
seen the
mentioned
Venom
it
trailer.
though to you guys.
That Venom trailer looks terrible as well.
So I did read this about trailers in general recently. So the studio sends out a bunch of clips from movies to a bunch of trailer houses, and they only buy one of them. So they all pre-make a trailer, and then sell it to the studio, and the studio only pays one of those people for doing it. But the reason why all of these trailers are starting to look the same is because they just go with what works, what is sold in the past. Like the studio is afraid to try anything new with the trailer, so they always just, use the same sound effects and use the same sort of script with making trailers now. So now they all kind of sound the same and look the same.
Yeah.
Anyway, you're not going to be able to hear this, Matt, but yeah.
Why?
I'll do the sound effects of what I
Thank
think
you.
I'm seeing.
That'd be fantastic.
Oh, it's a box. Oh, gonna open the box.
See, so far I would think this is like Jumanji.
Ooh. Ooh, what's this?
Somebody mailed me a box.
Beep, 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 beep. Dun, 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 dun,
I honestly don't know what this has for relevance.
Look, he destroyed his Jenga tower. That's what's happening in the trailer.
20th Century Fox.
Tell me about the mission. Did you see anything unusual?
Is that the set from iZombie?
Like an alien, you mean?
You saw something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And your men? Someone or something tore them to pieces.
Is that Key and Peele?
I think they're attempting hybridization.
Don't know what that means.
They're upgrading on every planet they visit.
Is that Olivia
We
Munn?
need to know if
Yeah.
you pose a threat.
We're assassins. Isn't posing a threat kind of the point?
We're Assassin's Creed. Isn't opposing Creed's kind of the point?
Yeah, this looks terrible. Like, it just looks really bad.
It kind of looks like Terminator almost.
I don't know what hybridization means in that context.
I think they mean like the predators are coming to the planet to
Are they banging humans?
bang humans and make like
Yeah.
weird hybrids.
Like, is that what they're doing? They're just gonna bang all humans? Like, I really don't understand what it means in this. But it's
I read a synopsis that said that this film is like kind of an all-out war between Predator and man, and somehow that kid is responsible for like the ship crashing.
yeah,
which
he
they
has like a
kind of
toy ship
do.
that like that's what I was trying to get from the trailers. Like, does his little
By the end
toy-
of the trailer, Olivia Munn finds out it's her son playing in the basement the whole time.
Who's Cinnamon Roll? Yeah, the
question.
Venom trailer was also pretty bad.
The Venom trailer isn't great, but it's not as bad as that. That is definitely a worse trailer than the Venom trailer.
Was this a full trailer? I feel like it was a teaser trailer because it was so short.
No,
That,
they released
that was a
another
minute and a
trailer.
half.
Yeah, but usually aren't trailers usually like 2 minutes?
No.
2.5 minutes?
I mean, they can be.
They can be, but they're not usually.
You know what was bad was the latest Jurassic World trailer. That was pretty awful.
I don't know what
I-
that movie's trying to be at all anymore.
I haven't seen any of it except for the first one.
Didn't you see it like when you went to see Avengers? Like it was in front of ours.
No, actually, I don't think so.
Like,
I don't
each
recall it.
trailer for Jurassic World has entirely changed the tone of what it
It's
seems
one
like it's
of
going
the
to
other
be.
Jurassic Park movies, Matt. You told me about it. It was the third one, I think, where like all the dinosaurs escape to the real world.
Yeah.
No,
The one where
Well,
they
that
have the
was the second
dinosaur on
one.
the boat. Yeah.
Or
that's
whatever
the
it
one.
was. I don't. It's
The
everyone
Lost
said it
World.
was, yeah, that it's just the Lost World.
oh no, I didn't tell you that. I have not seen anything.
No, but like in the
Ew.
new one, like they basically spoiled the whole plot of the movie.
No, I haven't seen any except for the very first like teaser trailer that came out. I have not watched anything else since then.
Yeah, I really have no idea what this Jurassic Park movie is trying to be.
I
It's-
actually think that we talked about like that weird, like the weird black kid that was in the trailer.
Yeah, like in the first one,
So-
they're like they lead you to believe that like, oh, they're going to the island because there was a volcano that's erupting. They want to save all
Right.
the dinos.
why did they
Exactly.
build this place
Why
on
did
a
they build it
volcano?
on an active volcano island? Makes no sense. But like in this trailer, they reveal that like, oh, it was a ruse. The government just wants to steal all the dinos so that they can turn them into weapons and make killer dinos. And then at some point in the movie, like you see like a dino in a little girl's bedroom.
Yeah, because they
Spoiler
tried
alert.
hybridization again.
Yeah.
It's the same fucking movie.
Like
Which
they-
I don't understand what it means.
They never learn that they just got to keep making these more scary and scarier dinosaurs. And it just doesn't work.
I actually started watching The Lost World
Yeah.
a couple weekends ago. I was like, what a weird fucking movie that was. The motivations of getting everybody back to the island, and you have Ian Malcolm, and he's got his black daughter who does gymnastics, and she somehow gymnastic kicks a fucking velociraptor out of a barn.
Is that the one where they hide in the trees and stuff? They have like the things up in the trees.
The high hide?
Yeah.
Yeah, he literally is like, it's a high hide. It's high, and you hide. Yeah, they end up trying to save the baby T-Rex.
Yeah.
And it pushes a fucking RV off the side of a cliff.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
But you saw that in the last trailer when their little mouse hamster ball like rolls off the cliff.
I remember always thinking as a kid, there's a scene where they're putting a bandage on the baby T-Rex on his leg because he's broken a bone in his leg.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow they're going to bandage his leg up and then release him back into the wild and everything's going to be okay. And she makes Vince Vaughn, of all people, Vince fucking Vaughn, who's in this movie, spit out his gum because they need an adhesive to seal.
Yeah. I remember that.
Is Vince Vaughn like a teenager in that movie?
No, but she's like, spit.
How old is Vince Vaughn?
That was after Swingers, I think.
Was it?
Yeah. I watched Ready Player One again since the crappy Korean sub-rip came out, and I threw it on to see how the quality was, and I just was bored, so I kept watching it. I don't hate the movie. I really don't.
Really?
I haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it
It's
this weekend.
not good, but when you watch it as not being a good movie, it's just an enjoyable bullshit.
It's one of the few movies I walked away thinking the book was better.
I don't
It's
know.
just like-
The concept of the story is not good.
I get it that like the book, there's no way they could translate the book like exactly to screen. But I don't know. It felt like a lot of the challenges they put in for him were like contrived, didn't make any sense.
Well,
And it
that's
was more...
the problem is that no matter what it would be because it's a nonsense thing. It's not a possible thing. The fact that like they drive cars by going like this, like they just have their hands like.
Well, like he literally like in the book, he like one of the things is he needs to figure out where the key is. But in the movie, they're like, oh, it's just a race now, and he just races his car, and then he figures out like if I drive backwards, it'll win the race.
Spoiling. Matt just said he hadn't seen it.
He'll see it.
But either way, you watch the movie as if it's just like a thing that you're gonna fall asleep to, and it's a pretty good movie.
I wouldn't go that far, but it was okay.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It was an okay. Matt, have you read the book or listened to the audiobook or anything?
No.
I think Rochelle has,
It
right?
just belongs in the 90s
Yeah.
is all.
I've been thinking about like getting into audiobooks. But
Yeah, I have a Audible subscription.
I'm surprised you never did while you were driving more.
You know, I
he still
did a
drives a
little
lot.
bit, but I still listen. I listen to so many podcasts and like talk radio, and so it's
Yeah,
just-
yeah. But you can only listen to so much of that.
Sometimes
I
I
don't know,
like
there's a lot out there
the,
to listen to.
Yeah, I know, but it's all insufferable. I mean, have you heard us?
Macaulay Culkin has a podcast now.
Yeah, he also has my Wi-Fi password.
He does. I was listening to Anna Faris's podcast for a while.
She's annoying.
That's bad podcast. I've been listening to How Did This Get Made?
Oh, yeah, I listened to
which is
that
like-
for a bit.
Jason Matsukas and that other guy. And they just like make fun of movies. Like really bad movies. They did an episode on Steel, which I thought was pretty funny.
Shaq.
Yeah, it's a really
It
good
got made
episode.
because Shaq is hugely famous, hugely rich, and is
Right.
an insane Superman fan.
Yeah, that, and they also did an episode on ladybugs.
The soccer movie?
Yeah, and there was they did a funny episode on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2.
That's a great movie.
The one with Kino?
Yeah, the one with Kino.
Ernie Reyes Jr.
Or the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2?
Their take on Kino showing up to April's apartment with the pizza and how he just kind of forces his way in was pretty funny.
Yeah.
like
He really does. He
He
just
does.
like walks into her apartment like, whoa, white girls are rich.
Yeah. They were like the only scene in this movie filmed in New York was the opening scene where everybody's just chewing on like terrible slices of pizza.
Yeah.
All the dominoes at the beginning. Yeah.
Like the rest of it's just like in Canada somewhere.
Yeah. They had some funny lines about when Kino was going through the training with the foot, and Raph is just watching from like 10 feet away. And every time Kino runs, like he'll just run over to Raph and be like, "Oh, how am I doing?" He's like, "What's going on over there?" It's like, "Can't you see what's happening?"
No, turtles don't have great eyesight.
And also, turtles aren't small. Like he's running over to the side.
I know.
Nobody
It's
sees the
it's a
turtle.
giant fucking turtle. Nobody sees it. It's a pretty funny show. You should check it out if you get a moment.
They didn't do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. I always thought that was the funny one because like they literally build a lantern and assume that it will time travel at the end.
They have not done that one. No.
I don't remember Kino being that close to Raph during the training.
He does run over occasionally.
Oh, he runs over and
Yeah.
talks to him.
No, I know, but I don't remember him being that close.
And at some point, like when he's supposed to take all the like bells off the mannequin and then they throw smoke up, and then you
Yeah.
just hear like Raph running over.
Oh
and
wow,
doing
he
it.
really is that close. He's
Yeah.
like right behind. Oh my god.
Yeah, he's like right there. Now
Raph literally comes in and does like
He's right behind.
I gotta watch this movie now.
Oh my goodness. Hold on, I gotta get this going for Matt here.
I can't hear it though.
Yeah, but that's okay. We're not listening to it either. We're just looking at it because we want to see how close Raph is. This is great.
I mean, to be fair, he is a good fighter on his own. He had to get past this part. Even though he literally just jumps up and kicks people. It's his only move.
He is a good fighter. He was in Surf Ninjas.
Yeah. I like that he just looks up occasionally
I forgot
and
to
then
switch it for Matt.
ducks
Sorry.
down.
I gotta go back.
Is it weird that like the foot only recruits like white ninjas mostly?
Oh, look at that. Subtitles. There's Raph.
Here's Raph.
Wait, why is it so tiny now?
Because I minimized it.
In a room full of potential ninjas, nobody notices Raph.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little too Raph.
But they're not they're not good ninjas. They don't all make it.
That's true.
Where the hell did the window go?
I can't watch it now.
Yeah.
It's like hidden in the corner.
I like that Kino was so worried about that. Like, oh, how am I supposed to grab all these balls off this fucking mannequin?
Isn't he trained as a ninja? Like, couldn't he at least get a few on his own?
Dude, I feel like I could do quite a few. It's a mannequin that has balls all over it. Like,
Yeah, but you got to do it in like no time at all.
But it was bells. It wasn't balls. It was. Like,
oh, right. And they couldn't ring, right?
Yeah, you had to be quiet. Except he made more more noise making the moves. Like,
yeah. The ninja noises made so much noise.
He just stood there. Raph loaded him up with bells.
Like, how did Raph even know to come over? Like, how did he know that Kino didn't have that?
I mean,
Kino is clearly a good fighter, so he could have been trained.
Yeah, but he's a pizza boy.
Yeah, why is he a pizza boy?
Because everybody wanted to work for Domino's. Who?
Oh,
wouldn't?
that's right. They talked about the joke that Kino makes like right off the bat, where he's trying to hit on those girls, and he calls one of them fat.
That's the other movie.
Like he tries to pick up one
yeah,
of the
he
girls.
does call him fat.
Does he?
And the
I don't
girl,
remember
the
that.
girl's like turns him down, like in your dreams, and he's like, "Well, maybe in my dreams you'll be a little lighter." Like,
does he say that?
Yeah, he makes a fat joke. Like,
Yeah, okay.
fat shames one of the girls at the beginning of the movie.
Thinner.
Oh, he does. Oh, I don't remember that at all. Like a real
When I
woman would
do-
be eating pizza.
When I do, I'll dream of something a little thinner.
Like, he's like, I may be a ninja, but I don't eat any of this.
Yeah. Get your fat ass in my shit.
That's a great line. Hold on. I'll let you read it.
I like they were just like, this is for kids.
Dream on, dweeb.
Hey, ladies. Which one of you lucky girls gets a ride with me tonight?
Dream on, dweeb.
Yeah, okay. But when I do, I'll dream of something a little thinner.
Well, to be fair, they didn't have to be mean about it. Like, clearly they have boyfriends because they just walked up, but like they could have just been like, sorry, we're taken.
No, it was
Well,
the 80s.
But
I don't even think it was like it was 91 actually.
Kino's like, oh, which one of you lucky bitches gets me tonight?
Yeah, it was great.
Like, we're not dating a pizza boy. Okay, well, you're too fat, bitch.
That's a great reaction. I don't know what's wrong with that.
I'll be dreaming of something thinner. All right, well, I think we did it, guys.
Yeah, that was fun.
I enjoyed Dave's studio setup. Maybe next time there'll be more wine.
Sorry.
I do like that Dave wasn't willing to open an expensive bottle of wine.
He was not. He was just like,
Because
I
you said
do
you
have.
just want a little bit of wine.
I said I'll have some wine, and Dave was just like, I do have an expensive bottle of wine, but I'll stop and get something cheaper on my way home.
I know. I don't know why Dave had to preface that with, I have really expensive
I have fancy wine.
I'm not giving that to
I didn't
you.
say I didn't say expensive. I said fancy.
Hold on. Let me make sure I bring home a bottle of Barefoot.
No, this is Llama Malbec. It's pretty good actually.
It
I
was
said
got
fancy wine. And
I've
you
got some
said
Yellowtail
wait,
for
wait,
you.
wait, wait. The reason being is because you said I'll take a little wine.
I'll take a little wine, and you're like, why did
Well,
you preface it like saying
'cause I
I
didn't-
have good wine, but you're not gonna have any of it?
Because I didn't want to have a whole bottle. I wasn't going to open up a whole
Why
bottle of
not
wine.
just say I'll bring some wine then?
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't have known that you had an expensive bottle that you were unwilling to share.
I'm willing to share. I've shared a bottle of that wine with you before.
What, at Kevin's?
Mm-hmm.
That was a good wine.
I have 2 of them over there.
But can't you just buy it pre-aged? You don't have to age it
Those
yourself?
are those that doesn't exist anymore. That's all there is.
What, they didn't make anymore?
That's all there is. Yeah.
So has it value skyrocketed? Could you resell it?
Maybe. I mean, it's like it should be like $70 wine, and then yeah. But I got it for cheap
He got it.
because the labels.
$69.99.
Because the labels are kind of beat up.
Dave beat up the labels so that he could get it for cheap.
Oh God! I just scrolled up in the chat and saw Stormy Daniels' tits again.
I also have fancy beer. I got all sorts of stuff.
You're like one of those people who like goes to the grocery store and like smashes the cans on the ground for the discount. You just like mark up the labels.
No, I'm not the one who changes the price, though I could.
This girl at work gave me a bottle of Bush Mills 10-year.
Oh, really?
That was nice
Yeah.
of her.
That was nice.
Any particular reason?
So she came in, and it was me and then 2 other guys that we always talk about drinking whiskey or bourbon. And she came in, she was like, "Oh, I have this bottle in my car. Which one of you guys wants it?" And we were all like, "Well, we'd all love it." And then she played some weird tic-tac-toe, or not tic-tac-toe.
Tit-tat-toe?
Ink stink purple
No.
dink.
She played some weird game where she, like, who gets the bottle? Like, grab a tiger by its toe.
Eeny meeny.
Miny Mo?
I got it.
Why did you finish it?
I don't know. Anywho, guys, any final thoughts?
I gotta find out where these ants are coming from.
I was pretty upset today. They canceled a bunch of shows that I watch on Fox. They canceled Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I was pretty upset
Did they?
about. Yeah, because I really I just watched an episode today, like this week's episode, and I really enjoyed it. And then I saw that they canceled it, and they canceled the Mick, and they canceled Last Man on Earth.
They canceled the Mick?
Yeah.
Huh.
I mean, usually if you get to season 2, like the chances of you getting season 3 is pretty good. But for whatever reason, they canceled it. So
AP Bio got picked up.
I did. I saw that too. Like AP Bio's good for next year, and I don't know where they're going to go with it. From
I've been really enjoying Barry.
Barry's good.
The HBO show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was sad about Brooklyn Nine-Nine because it's a really good show. If you like Parks and Rec or you like The Good Place, it's made by the same people. You should watch it.
Is it on your Joe Flicks?
The first couple seasons are. It's also on Hulu. All the seasons.
I prefer Joe Flicks.
I could probably download the rest. I think the first 3 seasons are on my Plex.
Okay. Check it out. Check it out, son.
What do you got, Matt?
Final thoughts. I actually don't think that I have any final thoughts.
Nice.
You?
I already said. I got to figure
was
out where
it?
these ants are coming from.
Oh, that was it.
Yeah, I'm also going to Germany again Monday.
Yeah, Dave's on vacation next week.
Pretty cool.
Are you going to call us next Thursday?
No.
Are you going to let Joe do the show from your
No.
studio?
Why would I do that? He has his own stuff.
But I don't have this stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
Can you make a login on your computer for the
Who's gonna house it for you while you're gone?
My dad lives here.
But I mean, do you trust him?
Who's gonna house it? Your dad.
All right. Well, here it is. We did it, guys. Make sure you check out all the wonderful programming on strangelabel.com. WFO Dicks moved to Tuesday nights. Not Safe for Water Coolers is on Mondays. Leroy and Earl's a thing on Wednesdays. So
And they hate us, apparently. That's the last thing I heard about
Still.
Leroy and Earl.
They stole your identity. That's
It
how they
might
did.
have
They
been
faked
them.
your voice.
They used their pitch shifter
Yeah.
to change it to mine.
Yeah, so make sure you check out strangelabel.com at strange_label. I've been hanging out
Strange
with you guys
label.
at WFO Dicks Tuesday nights. So I've been on their last few string of shows. I will be on their show next Tuesday as well. So I think that's it. So thank
Is
you
it?
for joining us, Goldie and Michelle and Anchor.
Echo doesn't
Dick
work on
face.
mine.
We'll do this one.
It doesn't work on this one.
I have it down. There you go.
Okay.
Well, I'm just gonna give some effects for Joe. Here.
I want effects too. There it is.
Is that good, Matt?
I like it.
Can we do the whole show like this?
Is this what the Leroy men do?
Yeah, I'm Leroy.
They just crank those dials in random directions.
I'm just using presets. It's annoying. Anyway,
Guys, until next week.
I'm not gonna play any music
Guys, until next week.
until next week.
Until next week.
Not next week.
Oh, yeah, until next time, I guess.
Next time.
Until next time, go fudge muffins yourself.
That's right.
Bye.